So hello guys, this is Anupam Verma and I'm back. So nowadays I'm reading a book and the name of that book is How to Read a Book. Yes, the name of that book is How to Read a Book. And this is the first chapter of that book and that topic, the chapter name in that book is, and the chapter name is, there was first chapter, the activity and the art of reading. There's an activities and art of reading, the books. And here's the second part of that chapter is the goal of reading. The goal of reading for information and reading for understanding. Okay, let's deep down into it and understand what is actually meaning of that is. You have a mind. Now let's suppose that you have a book that you want to read. The book consists language written in by someone for the sake of communication, something to you. Your success in reading is determined by the extent to which you receive everything the writer intends to communicate. If you successfully intend to receive the story or the message which writer is supposed to tell, say you, I think you won the first battle of reading that book. Okay? That of course is too simple. The reason is that there are two possible relationships between your mind and the book and that book, not just one. These two relations are exemplified by two different experiences that you have in reading your book. And there is the book. There is a book, and here is your mind. As you go through the pages, either you understand perfectly everything the author has to say, or you do not. If you do not, no, if you do, you may have gained information, but you could not have increased your understanding. Okay. Again, there is a book, and here's your mind. Here's your mind. As you go through the pages, either you understand perfectly everything the author has to say, or you do not. Let's suppose you do. You may have gained information, but you could not have increased your understanding. How? Let's see. If the book is completely intelligible to you from start to finish. Intelligible is kind of like you have interest in that particular topic, so that if the book is completely intelligible to you from start to finish, then the author and you are two minds in same mold. Then author and you are the same mind but same mold. The symbol on the pages merely express the common understanding by you had before you met. Let's take second alternative. You do not understand the book perfectly. There are might have chances the books, according to me, what are the books you do not understand properly? There are several reasons. Few of the reasons are you are not a book reading person, you are not a bookworm. You mainly focus on your internet to gain short knowledge with less number of time. And if you do not have an interest on that particular topic, the book we have, okay. And second is, then when you are reading the book, you are not in your mind. Your mouth is reading the words, but you are not really really in your mind. Your mind has somewhere else, your past or maybe future. This is all kind of illusion. Okay, that you digging out some your past things and you illustrate or you create your some future things in your absence. This is some of the reasons that why you do not really understand what the book is trying to say. Or there also be a chances that the language of that book is very typical. As in my case, those books I am not understanding properly. The language of that books are very different. Like recently I also read the book that name is The Politics by Plato. This book is totally different, very high level language. I'm not understand that language of that book, so I quit that book for now, but I am definitely read that book in future. So let's get to the topic. Let's take the second alternative. You do not understand the book perfectly. Let us even assume, what unhappily is not always true, that you understand enough to know that you do not understand in all. You know the book has more to say than you understand, and hence that is contains something that can increase your understanding. What do you do then? तब आप क्या करोगे? ठीक है, मतलब इसका मतलब ये है कि यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द बुक परफेक्टली. अगर आपको बुक परफेक्टली समझ में नहीं आई है, बट आप अनहैप्पी भी हो कि मुझे जो कहना चाह रहा था वो समझ में नहीं आया है, दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड इनफ टू नो दैट यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड इट ऑल. या ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आप इतना ज़्यादा समझ गए कि आप उसको फिर समझना ही नहीं चाहते हो. होता है ऐसा केसेस में भी. यू नो द बुक हैज़ मोर टू से. आपको पता है कि बुक और भी ज़्यादा कहना चाह रही है, बट उससे क्या होगा, आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ेगी. कैन इंक्रीज द अंडरस्टैंडिंग, इसने कैन यूज़ किया है. वट डू यू डू देन? उसके बाद आप क्या करोगे? यू टेक द बुक टू समवन एल्स who you think can read better than you. Then what do you do? आप उस बुक को लोगे, then you take that book and go someone else who you think that he can better than you for reading books, and have him explain the part that you trouble. He may be in living person or another book. It's a commentary or textbook, or you may decide that what is over your head is not worth bothering you, that you understand enough. In either case, you are not doing the job of reading that the book requires. Okay. Or you may decide that what is over your head is not worth bothering about, that you understand enough. In either case, you are not doing the job. You are not doing the job that reading the book requires. This is the done is only one way, without external help of any sort. You go to the work on the book with nothing but the power of your mind. You operate on the symbols before you in such a way that you gradually lift yourself from a state of understanding less to understand more. Without nothing but the power of your mind, you operate on the symbol before you in such a way that you gradually lift yourself from a state of understanding less to one of understanding more. Such elevation accomplished by the mind working on a book and is highly skilled reading. The kind of reading that a book which challenge your understanding deserves. Thus, we can roughly define what we mean by the art of reading as follow. चलो हम रफली डिफाइन करते हैं कि क्या मतलब है आर्ट ऑफ रीडिंग का. द प्रोसेस वेयर बाय अ माइंड विथ नथिंग टू ऑपरेट ऑन बट द सिंबल ऑफ द रीडेबल मैटर, ओके, with no help from outside, elevates itself by the power of its own operation. The mind passes from understanding less to understanding more. मतलब there was a jump over there, a lift over there. The skilled operation that caused this to happen, that are the various acts that consist the art of reading. ओके, इसका मतलब ये है कि क्या मतलब है, बट क्या मतलब है आर्ट ऑफ रीडिंग का. आर्ट ऑफ रीडिंग का मतलब ये है जब आप अपने माइंड की पावर से वो पावर जनरेट करते हो, जब आपको जो चीज़ लिखी है वो समझना चाहते हो, किसी और की हेल्प से नहीं, खुद की हेल्प से. ओके, सो और जब आप ऑपरेशन करते हो तो आपका माइंड शिफ्ट हो जाए फ्रॉम द स्टेट ऑफ नॉन अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू अंडरस्टैंडिंग स्टेट में. ओके, इसका मतलब ये है to pass from the understanding less to understanding more by your own intellectual effort. Is reading is something like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay, it certainly feels that way. It is a major exertion. Obviously, it is more active kind of reading than you have done before. Intently Not only more varied activity but also much more skill in the performance of the various acts required. Obviously, to the things that are usually regarded as more difficult to read and hence as only for the better reader are those then that are more likely to deserve and demand that this kind of reading. Okay, the distinction between reading for information and reading for understanding is deeper than this. Okay, distinction between reading for understanding and reading for information is far more deeper than this. Let us try to say more about it. We will have to consider both goals of reading because the line between what is readable in one way and what most to be read in another way often hazy. To the extent that we can keep these two goals of reading distinct, we can employ the word reading into two distinct senses. The first sense is the one in which we speak of ourselves as reading newspaper, magazine or anything else that, according to our skill and talent, is at once thoroughly intelligible to us. Such things may increase our store of information, but they cannot improve our understanding, for our understanding as equal to them before we started. Okay, otherwise we would have felt the shock of puzzlement and perplexity that comes from the getting in our own depth. That is, if we were both alert and honest. Okay, second sense is that in which a person tries to read something at a first he does not completely understand, where the thing to be read is initially better or higher than the reader. The writer is communication something that can increase the reader's understanding. Such communication between unequal must be possible, or else one person could never learn from another, either through speeches or writing. Hereby, learning is meant understanding more, not remembering more information that has same degree of intelligibility as other information you already possess. So these are the two senses which we communicate, which we understand by line by line. There is clearly no difficulty as of an intellectual sort about gaining new information in the course of reading if the new facts are the some sort as those who you already know. फिजिकली कोई डिफ़िकल्टी नहीं है एज एक इंटेलेक्चुअल सॉर्ट अबाउट न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन को गेन करने के लिए, और अगर एक नई इन्फॉर्मेशन उस सेम सॉर्ट की है जिसको पहले से जानते हो तो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग और बढ़ेगी. यस ऑफ कोर्स, अ पर्सन हु नो some of the fact of American history and understanding them in a certain light can readily acquire by reading. In the first sense, more such facts and understanding them in same light. Okay, एक पर्सन जिसको कुछ अमेरिकन हिस्ट्री के फैक्ट्स पता है, अब ऑब्वियसली बात है उसने कहीं से पढ़ा होगा या सुना होगा तभी उसे याद है. पहली सेंस में तो क्या है कि उसे और ज़्यादा फैक्ट्स मिलेंगे अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए सेम लाइट में. But suppose he is reading a history that seeks not merely give to him some more facts but also to throw a new and perhaps more revealing light on all fact he knows. Suppose करते हैं कि वो एक ऐसी हिस्ट्री पढ़ रहा है that he seeks, उसको कुछ नहीं पता है उसके बारे में क्या चल रहा है, और क्या पता हो सकता है जो चीज़ पढ़ रहा है वो कुछ एक ऐसी नए इंसाइट्स फेंक दे जो उसे पहले से पता ही नहीं थे. वो मतलब वो जिसको पता था और ज़्यादा पता लग जाएगा. सपोज देयर इज ग्रेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग अवेलेबल हेयर देन इन ही पोजेस बिफोर ही स्टार्टेड टू रीड. इफ ही कैन मैनेज टू अक्वायर दैट ग्रेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ही इज रीडिंग इन सेकेंड सेंस. ये बात सही है. अगर हम कुछ चीज़ पढ़ते हैं, हमको अगर वो समझ में आती है तो हम उस चाहते हैं कि हम उसको दोबारा पढ़ें, क्योंकि हो सकता है कि वो दोबारा में हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ाती हैं, ये फैक्ट है। ठीक है। वट आर द कंडीशंस अंडर विच काइंड ऑफ रीडिंग फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग टेक प्लेस। तो मतलब किस टाइप की अंडरस्टैंडिंग, किस टाइप की सिचुएशंस होती हैं जिसमें हम लोग कहते हैं कि जो रीडिंग है फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए वो होती है। मतलब हम कैसे कह सकते हैं कि जब आप जो चीज़ पढ़ रहे हो वो आप रीडिंग अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए पढ़ रहे हो या इक्वलिटी के लिए पढ़ रहे हो। देयर आर टू हैं, पहली दो हैं, पहली देयर आर टू हैं। फर्स्ट क्या है, देयर इज इनिशियली इनइक्वालिटी एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग। हो सकता है कि पहले जो आप पढ़ रहे हो आपको समझ ना आ रहा हो कि वो क्या कहना क्या चाह रहा है। अब यहाँ पर क्या होता है, जो राइटर है, द राइटर इज सुपीरियर होता है इस रीडर से, क्योंकि उसने वो समझा है तभी लिखा है। हिज बुक मोस्ट कन्वे इन रीडेबल फॉर्म द इंसाइट ही पोजेस एंड हिज पोटेंशियल रीडर लैक। क्योंकि रीडर ज़्यादा सुपीरियर है समझने के लिए उस बुक के बारे में जो उसने लिखा है। कभी कभार जो उसके रीडर हैं वो नहीं समझ पाते हैं जो वो कहना चाह रहा है। सेकेंड, द रीडर मस्ट बी एबल टू ओवरकम हिज इनइक्वलिटी इन सम डिग्री। हो सकता है कि जो रीडर है वो ज़्यादा समझ जाता है जो वो कहना चाह रहा है, तो ओवरकम करता है उसकी इनइक्वलिटी कुछ डिग्री में। सेल्डम परहैप्स फुली बट ऑलवेज अप्रोचिंग इक्वलिटी विद द राइटर। तो वो हमेशा क्या करता है, राइटर के साथ इक्वलिटी मेंटेन करने में हेल्प करता है। नहीं तो वो कम समझना चाहता है, नहीं तो वो ज़्यादा समझना चाहता है। टू द एक्सटेंट दैट इक्वलिटी इज अप्रोच, क्लैरिटी ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन अचीव। जहाँ पर हमको इक्वलिटी आ जाती है तो वहाँ पर कम्युनिकेशंस में क्लैरिटी आती है। अगर आपको ज़्यादा कुछ पता होगा और दूसरे को कम पता है तो आप डोमिनेट करोगे उसको। बट अगर आप दोनों को साथ साथ में है तो आप लोग नए नए तरीके ढूंढोगे। दैट मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट, या इन शॉर्ट वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम आवर बेटर्स। शॉर्ट में कहा जाए तो हम हमेशा अपने बेटर जो हमारी अच्छी होती है हम उससे सीखते हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं, हमको अपने बुरे से भी बहुत सीखना चाहिए। वी मस्ट नो who they are, how to learn from them. The person who has this sort of knowledge possesses the art of reading. एक पर्सन जिसको इस सॉर्ट की नॉलेज है कि कैसे अच्छे से सीखा जाता है। The person who has this sort of knowledge possesses the art of reading. और वो possess कर रहा है art of reading को in the sense with which we are especially concerned in this book. Everyone can read that all possible have some ability to read in this way. But all of us, without exceptions, can learn to read better and gradually gain more by our efforts through applying them to more rewarding materials. We do not want to give the impression that facts leading to increased information and insights that leading to increased understanding. We do not want to give the impression that facts leading to increased information लीड करे इंफॉर्मेशन बढ़ाने के लिए, इंसाइट्स ढूंढने के लिए, लीडिंग टू इंक्रीज की हमें अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो सके, आर ऑलवेज ईजी टू डिस्टिंग्विश करना आसान होता है। And we would admit that something are merely radical of facts can itself lead greater understanding. The point we want to emphasize here is that this book is about the art of reading for the sake of increased understanding. Okay, and this is a small part of this book. Unfortunately, if you learn to do that, reading for information will usually take care itself. If you know how to read book for understanding, reading for information is usually take care of itself. Of course, there is still another goal of reading beside gaining information and understanding, that is entertainment. However, this book will not be much concerned with reading for entertainment. No, it is the last demanding kind of reading and it requires a least amount of effort. Furthermore, there are no rules for everything. Everyone who know how to read at all can read and for entertainment if he wants to. In fact, any book for understanding can read for understanding or information can probably be read for entertainment as well. Just as a book that is capable to increase our understanding can also be read purely for information it contains. These propositions cannot be reversed. It is not that true that every book that can be read for entertainment can also be read for understanding, nor do we wish to urge you never to read a good book for entertainment. No. The point is, if you wish to read a good book for understanding, we believe we can help you. Our subject, then it is the art of reading good books when understanding is the aim you have in a view. So that's it for this part. So what we learn in this part? Reading for understanding is more better than reading for information, because if you know how to read a book, if you well aware of that the thing which author want to convey, there are more chances that information for reading is always increasing. Okay, so that's it for this part. I'll see you in next part of this book and this book, and that I reveal little bit more about that. What is a part of the reading as learning? Reading as learning. The difference between learning by instruction and learning by discovery. So we'll cover this part in next video, next part of that video.